John, I am your host, and you guys, I am excited to be here today. We are live streaming to YouTube, and this is going to be an active conversation. So, as we did before, this is a question and answer for radiologic technology, medical imaging. Whatever questions y'all have, put them in the comments. We are going live answering questions because you all have sent me a lot of DMs and I cannot answer them all. So this is the time now for me to go ahead and do that. Let's get right into it. The last episode, if you haven't seen it, I answered 3 questions. Today, I'm going to do the same thing. 3 questions right from my DMs in TikTok. And I may actually do 2 right here in YouTube. Let's see how it goes, how many questions I get in the chat. How many of you come on live? I am so excited about this. Now, I am going to go ahead and make sure because I want to see if you all are going to ask me questions and make sure I don't miss them. There we go. Make sure I don't miss them. But let's get into it. Again, I am Chandria. I'm a radiologic technologist, and I have been doing radiology for 22 years. I have my certification in 3 modalities. As well as my degree from Emory University School of Medicine for Radiologic Technology. But yes, so I've done a few other things. I've been an educator in the field for 7 years, done clinical applications, and I am creating social media awareness about our amazing profession. Because for some reason, people think we just press buttons, y'all, but we do way more than press buttons. So drop your comments in the comment section. I want to see the chat below up, and I want to see what questions you all have. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, first question, this one is a pretty long question, so I'm going to try to read it. This is one of my followers from TikTok said, hello, my name is so-and-so. I'm 22 years old and don't really have much going on. I left home at a really young age. I barely graduated high school. That's okay. You got it. I tried college, but my first few years in adulthood were too much. I couldn't keep up with college and surviving life alone, and I dropped out. Not the only one. I didn't go to radiology school right out of high school. I got married at 19. I've been married and back and forth between California and Texas since my husband is a Marine. Because of my lack of stability, I haven't gotten a chance to really go for something career-wise. I've just been doing bartending, and I did go to beauty school and got my license to do nails. Nice. I'm looking for a higher purpose with a higher reward. I'm interested in nuclear medicine, nice, or diagnostic medical sonography, great choices, maybe even MRI. I was wondering if you had any advice or suggestions on what I should research to make sure I pursue the right route for me. Unfortunately, I would be in California for another year before I finally moved back to Texas permanently, so that also I have been weighing on me. I want to pursue a route that I can get into the industry as soon as possible, so I may have to wait so long to pursue something. Okay, pretty much the question is, where should she go? If you are wondering which profession to get in radiologic technology, there are so many options. If you look at my last video, you will be able to see exactly how you can get into medical imaging. And we say medical imaging because medical imaging is not just radiologic technology. As you heard in her comment, in her question, should she do nuclear medicine? Should she do MRI? Should she do sonography? Those are all primary pathways. And check out my last video that goes into a deep explanation of what a primary pathway is. It gives you an option if you don't want to go to radiologic technology school and you have a degree, or you want to go ahead and take an extra 2 years in MRI, nuclear medicine, radiation therapy, sonography. Those are primary pathways and you can do it. That's what I would encourage you to do. Is if you're not sure, first thing is shadow somewhere. Go to a hospital, become a volunteer at a hospital, and you can then shadow within the hospital because they already take you through the background checks as a volunteer. They don't let people just walk in off the street anymore and volunteer because of the safety issue and the privacy issue. So you have to be a volunteer first, get the proper credentialing and the proper background checks, and then you can possibly rotate through different modalities and learn what those modalities do. So that way you are not in a field that you say, oh, I don't really want to do this or get into school. Now, the other thing that she said was her husband is a Marine. My niece's husband is in the military. My niece was in the military as well, but being a spouse of someone in the military, or if you've been in the military, you may want to look at ways that you can use money from being in the military or a spouse of someone in the military, especially active duty, and get your education taken care of that way. Those are all very big possibilities for you, and it will cut down the cost. It will also open up certain programs to you. That is one thing I would do. Now, the other thing, you're thinking about only being in California for a year, those programs are going to at least be 2 years. So you want to make sure you let them know that I might be moving. My husband's in the Marines. We might move in a year. Where could I transfer these credits? Or can I transfer? Or can I be remote? Can I move my clinicals to another state? So say that school for MRI has clinicals in California, but you move to Texas the next year. They may have a facility in Texas that's already lined up. So when you move to Texas, your clinicals can just continue, right? So hopefully that answers the question. Great question. You got this. Thank you for that question in TikTok. Here's a question. Does it make sense in the chat? Thank you so much, PK, for this question in the chat on this live. This really is great. Does it make sense to cross-train into MRI versus cross-training into CT after attaining your ARRT certification of already working in a teaching hospital? Great question. This is something I did, and I'm actually encouraging one of my friends' kids to do. After finishing X-ray or radiologic technology school, I think it's really strategic. I'm not going to say smart, because either way, it's not a bad direction to go. Strategic way to go is to make sure that what you learned in radiology, just find something that follows along that pathway. So CT follows exactly the principles of what you learned for the last 2 to 4 years in radiologic technology school. Then you can then go ahead and cross-train, because you have all the principles. You'll have no problem passing the registry for CT. Only thing you don't know is cross-sectional. The next thing I would say is cross-training into another radiology field, mammography, if you're a female. And that is the same principle, is just dealing with breast. And the next one would be interventional, if that's something you want to do. That way it clears out everything radiology, unless you want to then go on to radiologist assistant, which is a master degree level program. Those are the only things that fall within the category of what you just went to school for your radiologic technology ARRT curriculum. That's how I say do it. And then after that, you've done a CT, then go into MRI, because you already learned the cross-sectional for a CT that will go over to MRI, but now you have to learn the MRI physics and other principles that go into MRI. Hopefully that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense for you. And if that answers your question. Okay, so let's hit another question here. Okay, so I've got another question. So this person says, hello, I recently came across your videos and I absolutely love them. Thank you. If you guys love them too, make sure you subscribe, please. Help my channel out and take a look at some of the other videos and leave a comment down here. Let me know what other things you would like to see me do as far as video content like this, answering questions. I want to provide value to the radiology community, because my goal is to bring awareness to the radiology profession. So this person says they were wondering if I could help them out with something related to radiology. Let's see. I don't know what this question is, y'all. I'm currently a pre-nursing student taking my prerequisites, but I'm unsure if it's the right path for me anymore. I've been looking into X-ray tech programs and have fallen in love with the idea. I tell you, people are loving on some radiology here. Could you please help me understand how to get started with the radiologic technology program, the requirements, and how many years it typically takes? I would greatly appreciate any guidance you can provide. Yes, so great question. If you are taking prereqs of any health-related program, this is not a definite, but this is usually any health-related program, your prereqs are going to count. You may want to check with your advisor, but usually most health-related, especially community college or university, you're required to get these certain amount of anatomy, physiology with the lab 1 and 2, chemistries, algebra, certain type of Englishes. You have to get those prereqs to be looked at for any health program. There are certain basic things that you've got to do in order for anybody, nursing, respiratory therapy, radiology, anybody to look at you, pre-med to look at you, to even be accepted into their programs. So that's why it's important for you to get those prereqs done, because then you're kind of can see, where do I want to go? Her initial thought was become a nurse. The more we bring awareness to the profession out here, people are seeing, wow, like me, I was always told nurse, 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 nurse. That's all people knew. There are so many other things out there. And now people using social media are bringing awareness to that. And people are seeing, oh, wow, I can have other options that pay just as well, if not better, same schedules, if not better, travel opportunities, if not more, sign-on bonuses, if not more. I mean, I just saw 3 jobs that were offering sign-on bonuses in CT and MRI outpatient centers. Yeah, at outpatient centers. So this is what I say to this young lady. If you come over and watch this from TikTok, you want to go ahead and complete your prereqs. And if you can go ahead, and when I went to school, I was able to shadow the different medical professions at the school. They let me shadow them at the hospitals. So you're already enrolled in a health program, maybe not specifically nursing. What I would encourage you and anyone to do is, if you're in that school, they have an association or affiliation with the hospital where their health programs rotate through. What you want to do is go talk to an advisor and say, I'm unsure about what I want to do in the healthcare field. Can I rotate, as I'm finishing my prereqs, over in radiology? Can I rotate over in nursing? Can I rotate in pediatrics? Can I rotate in cardiology? Can I rotate in respiratory therapy and surgery? As many as you want to rotate through. Ask. All they can do is say yes or no, right? So those are my 3 questions I'm going to answer today. We've run out of time, but thank you so much for asking a question in the chat. Glad we could get a YouTube chat question in there. If you all have any other questions or ideas for me to create content about radiologic technology and medical imaging, put it in the comments. Let me know. Be sure to subscribe and follow. You will get all of your radiology and medical imaging questions answered here, factual and actual, and on time. Have a good one, everybody.